Have you ever stopped, truly stopped, to wonder why you feel different? Why you sense that something about you, your presence in this world, doesn't quite fit into the mold society presses on everyone? I'm not talking about the fleeting moments of insecurity or doubt that all humans experience. No, I'm asking you to look deeper, to look into that quiet voice inside of you, the one that whispers, "There's something more. You're something more." You see, what if I told you that you're not here by accident? That your very existence is part of a grand cosmic design? That your trials, your struggles, and even your darkest moments are not random occurrences, but rather carefully placed stepping stones guiding you towards something extraordinary? You've likely felt it before: the pull, the spark, the knowing. It's as though life has been nudging you, gently at first, and then more forcefully, to wake up to the truth of who you are. But let me start with this: who are you? Not your name, not your job, not the roles you play in your everyday life. Who are you beneath all of that? Take a moment to ponder this question. Many people spend their entire lives avoiding it, distracting themselves with noise, with tasks, with the endless chase for external validation. But not you. You're here because you've already begun to sense that there's more to you than what the world sees. So, let's go deeper.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
The truth is, you are one of the chosen ones. And no, this isn't some fantastical idea meant to stroke your ego. Being a chosen one doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It doesn't mean life will be easier for you. In fact, it's often the opposite. It means you've been given a unique responsibility, a spiritual gift that carries both immense power and profound challenges. But before we talk about the gift, let's talk about the struggle. Because if you're here, listening to this, I know you felt it. Have you ever wondered why your path seems so much harder than others? Why you faced rejection, loss, or pain that feels unbearable at times? Why it feels like the world often misunderstands you, or that you don't belong? This isn't a coincidence. The chosen ones are often forged in fire. Your struggles, as painful as they may seem, are not here to break you. They are here to prepare you, to teach you resilience, compassion, and the kind of wisdom that can only be born through experience. And here's the key: it's not about the struggle itself, it's about what you choose to do with it. You see, most people look at their pain and ask, "Why me?" But chosen ones eventually learn to ask, "What is this teaching me? How is this shaping me?" Because every challenge you face is a mirror, reflecting back parts of you that need to be seen, healed, and embraced. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, doesn't waste energy. Nothing that happens to you is meaningless. And if you can begin to see your struggles as part of your awakening, you'll realize they're not here to punish you. They're here to unlock you. So, let's talk about that gift. What makes you as a chosen one so unique? It's your capacity to see beyond the illusion, to sense the deeper truths that most people overlook. You may not fully understand it yet, but you've always had this ability. Think back to your childhood. Were you the one who noticed things others didn't? Did you feel emotions more deeply, see beauty in places others ignored, or question the rules everyone else seemed so eager to follow? This wasn't a coincidence. It was the first sign of your gift. Your real identity, the one buried beneath societal expectations and conditioned beliefs, is a spiritual powerhouse. It's the part of you that knows you are connected to something far greater than yourself. It's the part of you that carries ancient wisdom, a wisdom that can't be taught in schools, but is instead remembered through experience. And here's the thing: this identity, this gift, isn't just for you. It's for the world. Chosen ones are not chosen for their own benefit. They're chosen because they have something to offer, a light to shine, a truth to share, a frequency to hold. And the world, as chaotic and divided as it may seem, is desperately in need of people like you. But let me ask you something. Are you ready to embrace it? Because here's the paradox of being chosen. You can't fully step into your gift until you stop running from it. And the truth is, most chosen ones spend years running. They numb themselves, they shrink themselves, they try to fit into a world that was never designed for them. Why? Because being different is hard. Being awake in a world that's asleep can feel isolating. And stepping into your true identity means letting go of the masks you've worn to make others comfortable. Can you do that? Can you risk being misunderstood, judged, or even rejected in order to live your truth? This is where most people stop. They feel the pull of their true identity, but they're too afraid to follow it. They cling to the familiar, even if it's painful, because stepping into the unknown feels terrifying. But I want you to remember this. The fear you feel is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's a sign that you're on the brink of transformation. Fear is the threshold between who you are and who you're becoming. And if you can find the courage to step through it, you'll discover a freedom and power that most people can't even imagine. But let's be real. This isn't easy work. It's not about meditating for a few minutes a day or reading a spiritual book and calling it a journey. It's about dismantling everything you thought you knew about yourself. It's about facing your shadows, the parts of you that you've ignored, denied, or buried because they felt too painful to confront. It's about trusting in something greater than yourself, even when it feels like the ground beneath you is crumbling. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to let go of who you think you are in order to become who you're meant to be? Because here's the truth. Your real identity, the one that's been calling to you, whispering to you, pulling you forward, is not something you need to create. It's something you need to remember. It's already within you, waiting to be uncovered. And as you peel back the layers of conditioning and fear, you'll begin to see it more clearly. You'll feel it in your bones, in your heart, in your soul. And when you do, you'll realize that everything you've been searching for, love, purpose, meaning, has been inside you all along. So, what will you do with this gift? Will you hide it, afraid of what the world might think? Or will you step into it, fully and unapologetically, knowing that you were born for this? Because make no mistake, you were born for this. You wouldn't be here listening to this if you weren't. The question is, are you ready to claim it? Are you ready to stop playing small and start living in alignment with the truth of who you are? And maybe the deeper question is, if not now, when? Let's take a moment to breathe. Really breathe. Not the shallow breaths we take when we're rushing through life, but a deep, intentional breath, the kind that reminds you you're alive. Because this moment, right here, is sacred. This is the moment where you begin to shift, where you start to let go of the lies you've told yourself about who you are and begin to embrace the truth. But here's the thing, the truth isn't always comfortable. In fact, it rarely is. I want you to imagine something for me. Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror, not the kind that reflects your physical appearance, but a spiritual mirror, a mirror that shows you the essence of who you are. What do you see? Do you see the love you've given, even when it wasn't returned? The resilience you've built, even when life knocked you down? The light you've carried, even when you felt like you were surrounded by darkness? Or do you see the mask you've worn, the roles you've played, the stories you've told yourself to survive? Most people don't want to look into this mirror. They're afraid of what they might see. But here's the truth. The mirror doesn't lie. It doesn't judge, it doesn't criticize, and it doesn't sugarcoat. It simply reflects. And what it reflects is the raw, unfiltered you, the you that exists beneath the layers of fear, doubt, and conditioning. the you that is infinite, powerful, and whole. But here's the catch. Before you can fully embrace this version of yourself, you have to let go of the version that isn't real. And this is where most people get stuck, because letting go feels like loss. It feels like stepping into the unknown, like walking into a dark room without knowing what's on the other side. But I want you to consider something. What if the dark room isn't empty? What if it's full of everything you've ever wanted, everything you've ever needed? What if it's not darkness at all, but simply a space waiting for your light? This is the journey of the chosen ones. It's not about becoming something you're not. It's about unbecoming everything you thought you had to be. It's about peeling back the layers of who you've been conditioned to be so you can reveal who you truly are. And this process is not linear. It's messy, it's uncomfortable, and it's often painful. But it's also liberating. Because with every layer you shed, you get closer to your essence. You get closer to the truth. But let's not romanticize this process. Let's be honest about what it takes. It takes courage, the kind of courage that most people don't even realize they have. It takes the willingness to face your fears, to sit with your pain, and to confront the parts of yourself that you'd rather avoid. It takes the humility to admit that you don't have all the answers, and the faith to trust that the answers will come when you're ready. And most importantly, it takes love. Not the kind of love that's fleeting or conditional, but the kind of love that is rooted in compassion and acceptance. The kind of love that says, I see you. I see your flaws, your wounds, your scars, and I love you anyway. Because the truth is, you can't fully step into your true self until you learn to love the parts of you that feel unlovable. You can't fully embrace your light until you make peace with your shadows. So, let me ask you this. What would it feel like to love yourself in this way? What would it feel like to look at your reflection not just in a physical mirror, but in the spiritual mirror of your life and say, this is me. I am enough. I am worthy. I am whole. How would your life change if you stopped trying to fix yourself and started seeing yourself as already complete? This is the shift that chosen ones are called to make. It's not an external transformation. It's an internal awakening. It's the realization that your worth doesn't come from what you do, what you achieve, or how others perceive you. Your worth is inherent. It's woven into the fabric of your being. And when you truly understand this, when you feel it in your bones, in your soul, you become unstoppable. But here's the thing. This journey isn't just about you. Yes, it's deeply personal, but it's also profoundly collective. Because when you step into your true self, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes a beacon of hope. Your authenticity becomes a source of inspiration. And your light becomes a catalyst for change. This is why your gift matters. This is why your identity as a chosen one is so important. It's not just for you, it's for the world. So I'll leave you with this question. What's stopping you? What's holding you back from stepping into your true self, from embracing your gift, from becoming who you were always meant to be? And more importantly, are you willing to let it go? Let's go deeper now. Let's talk about what it really means to carry this gift, this sacred responsibility of being a chosen one. Because while it's inspiring to think of yourself as someone with a divine purpose, it's also important to understand that this calling isn't easy. It's not meant to be. If it were, everyone would embrace it. But you were designed for this. And because of that, the weight of your calling will often feel heavier than what others carry. Have you ever wondered why you felt so alone at times? Why your experiences seem so different from those around you? It's not because you're broken or because life has singled you out for suffering. It's because being chosen often means standing apart. It means walking a path that others cannot see or understand. And let's be honest, that can feel isolating. It can feel like no one truly gets you. But here's the truth you need to hear. Isolation is part of your initiation. It's not a punishment, it's preparation. So think about it. Diamonds are formed under immense pressure. Gold is purified by fire. And you, too, are being shaped by the challenges you face. The solitude you've experienced wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to teach you how to rely on something greater than yourself. It was meant to show you the strength and wisdom that already exist within you. But let me ask you this. Can you see your struggles as sacred? Can you look at the pain you've endured and recognize it as a necessary part of your awakening? Because the moment you do, everything changes. The moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim of your circumstances and start seeing yourself as a student of life, you reclaim your power. And that's what being chosen is all about, stepping into your power, not in a way that dominates or controls, but in a way that uplifts and illuminates. Now let's talk about transformation. Because being chosen isn't just a title, it's a journey. It's a process of becoming. And transformation, by its very nature, is uncomfortable. It requires you to let go of the old to make space for the new. It requires you to shed the beliefs, habits, and identities that no longer serve you. And let's be real, that's terrifying. Because even when the old ways are painful, they're familiar. They're safe. But here's the thing, growth and safety cannot coexist. You cannot stay in your comfort zone and fulfill your calling at the same time. The two are mutually exclusive. So the question is, are you willing to leave the safety of who you've been to become who you're meant to be? Are you willing to risk being uncomfortable, uncertain, and even afraid in order to step into your destiny? And let's not sugarcoat it, this process will test you. It will challenge everything you think you know about yourself. It will ask you to face your fears, confront your shadows, and release the parts of you that are clinging to the past. But it will also reward you in ways you can't even imagine. Because on the other side of transformation is freedom. The kind of freedom that comes from living in alignment with your truth. But let me warn you, not everyone will understand your transformation. Some people will resist it. They'll try to pull you back into the version of yourself that they're comfortable with, the version that makes them feel safe. And that's okay. Because your journey isn't about them, it's about you. It's about honoring the divine calling that has been placed on your life, even when it doesn't make sense to others. This is where discernment becomes crucial. Not everyone is meant to walk this path with you. As you grow, you'll find that some relationships naturally fall away. And while this can be painful, it's also necessary. Because not everyone is capable of holding space for your evolution. And that's okay. Let them go with love. Trust that the people who are meant to support you will find their way into your life. But let's take a moment here. I want you to ask yourself something deeply personal. What are you holding on to that's keeping you from stepping into your next level? Is it a belief about yourself, maybe that you're not good enough, strong enough, or ready? Is it a fear of failure, or perhaps even a fear of success? Or maybe it's a relationship, a habit, or a pattern that feels familiar but is silently holding you back. Whatever it is, can you name it? Can you face it? Because here's the thing, you can't transform what you refuse to confront. The first step to stepping into your power is recognizing where you're giving it away. And once you see it, you have a choice. You can continue to cling to the old, or you can surrender it to the fire of transformation. The fire will burn, yes, but it will also purify. It will strip away everything that isn't you so that your true self can emerge. And here's the beautiful part, you don't have to do this alone. The same source that chose you, that placed this calling on your life, is walking this path with you. Call it God, the universe, spirit, or simply love, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you're not alone. You never were. As isolating as this journey may feel at times, you are deeply supported. You are guided. You are loved. So I'll leave you with this. What if everything you've been through, every heartbreak, every failure, every moment of doubt has been leading you here? What if the weight you've been carrying isn't a burden, but a sacred gift? And what if you're exactly where you're meant to be, even if it doesn't feel like it yet? The choice is yours. Will you answer the call? Now that we've uncovered the depth of your calling and the transformative path you're walking, it's time to step into the light. Because being a chosen one isn't just about carrying the burden of awakening, it's about learning to shine. It's about living fully, authentically, and unapologetically in alignment with your highest self. But here's the paradox: the light you're meant to embody isn't something you have to chase or find. It's already within you. The journey, then, is not about becoming something new, it's about awakening to what's been there all along. So, let me ask you, are you ready to let your light shine? Not the small, dimmed version of it that feels safe, but the full, radiant expression of your soul, the kind of light that inspires, heals, and transforms not just your life, but the lives of those around you. Because that's the ultimate purpose of being chosen. It's not just for you, it's for the collective. But here's the truth few people talk about: shining your light requires courage. It means standing tall in a world that often feels dark. It means being authentic in a society that rewards conformity. And it means holding on to your truth even when it feels like no one else understands it. Can you do that? Can you trust that the light inside of you is enough, even when the world tries to convince you otherwise? You see, the world needs your light now more than ever. It needs your voice, your wisdom, your unique energy. But here's the catch: the world can only receive your light if you're willing to share it. And sharing it doesn't mean waiting until you feel ready. It doesn't mean waiting until you're perfect or until you've figured everything out. It means showing up as you are, flaws and all, and trusting that your authenticity is what makes your light so powerful. But let's address the fear that often comes with this. Because if you're anything like most chosen ones, you've likely asked yourself, what if I fail? What if I'm not enough? What if I step into the light and it burns me? These fears are natural. They're a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, that you're growing. But here's what you need to remember: failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of the journey. Every so-called failure is simply a lesson, a stepping stone, a necessary part of your evolution. And as for the fear of not being enough, let me remind you of a profound truth: you are already enough. You always have been. Your worth is not determined by your achievements, your mistakes, or the opinions of others. It is inherent. It is divine. The fact that you're here, alive, breathing, experiencing, is proof that you are enough. So what does it mean to live fully as a chosen one? It means showing up every day with an open heart and a willingness to grow. It means choosing love over fear, even when fear feels overwhelming. It means trusting that your path, no matter how uncertain or challenging, is unfolding exactly as it's meant to. And most importantly, it means recognizing that you are not separate from the divine. You are the divine expressed in human form. Let me ask you something. What would your life look like if you fully embraced this truth? If you stopped dimming your light to make others comfortable? If you stopped apologizing for your dreams, your gifts, your vision? How would it feel to wake up every morning and know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are living your purpose? This is the reality that's available to you. But it requires a choice to stop waiting for permission and start giving yourself permission. A choice to stop looking outside of yourself for validation and start trusting the wisdom within. And a choice to stop playing small and start living boldly, knowing that your light is needed, that your voice matters, that your presence is a gift. Because here's the final truth I want you to take with you. You were chosen for a reason. You are here for a reason. And the world would not be the same without you. Every challenge you faced, every lesson you've learned, every moment of doubt and every breakthrough has been preparing you for this moment. The moment where you stop asking, why me? And start declaring, why not me? So I leave you with this: will you step into your light? Will you trust that you are enough? Will you live fully, unapologetically, as the chosen one you were always meant to be? The choice is yours, and the time is now.